Hello! I'm here today to talk about a social problem that is plaguing the United States of America. It goes by many different names. Hemp, dope, weed. I prefer cannabis. Cannabis was put under prohibition starting in 1937 with the Marijuana Tax Act, which was pushed through by Harry Anslinger. Harry Anslinger was in charge of prohibition of alcohol. When prohibition of alcohol was winding down, he realized that his funding was going to be cut and he was going to be out of a job. And he needed to find something else to attack. He knew he wasn't going to win the battle with cocaine or heroin, so he targeted cannabis. Cannabis, in his mind, and the minds of the Americans after they were taught to hate the plant, was that it's just a plant with a psychoactive ingredient to get you high, which refers to those users as stoners. But there's so much more to marijuana that is disregarded. Some of those things that are great about marijuana that we don't really know about are the benefits of marijuana as an alternative fuel source. This would be a renewable source of energy which we could use instead of oil. It can be used for paper instead of wood products. This is using hemp. Hemp grows very quickly. We can get 2 different seasons of hemp a year, and it's much more renewable than wood. We can use it with housing. Again, hemp would be added to the concrete we use already to create a product referred to as hempcrete. Hempcrete is carbon negative. What that means is that over the lifetime of the concrete, the hemp and the concrete draw carbon monoxide into the concrete, pulling it from the atmosphere. And hempcrete is stronger due to the fibers in there, and it lasts longer. It actually can be used as a textile too, so this could be your shorts or rope, or it could be used for flags and things like that. This is a great alternative to nylon or cotton and wool. We can also use hemp seed for food, and also oils can be created from the hemp as well and used in food and other opportunities. Marijuana is often criticized as being just a dirty drug, but if you look at the statistics, it's much better than alcohol. Alcohol is addictive, which creates alcoholism. It can cause death. It can be used for causing cancer, and it destroys brain cells, but yet it's still legal. Marijuana is non-addictive. It treats cancers, and it has 0 deaths in the history, and it actually helps grow brain cells with certain cannabinoids, and yet it is seen as a Schedule I drug on the same level as meth, heroin, and cocaine. A Schedule I drug means that there is no medical benefit to this product. Unlike marijuana, opiates are a Schedule II drug. A Schedule II drug means that there are some medical benefits, but it must be controlled. An example of a Schedule II drug would be Oxycontin, which is an opiate-based drug. Oxycontin is primarily used for pain treatment, but is also highly abused because of how addictive Oxycontin is. Oxycontin deaths amount into the millions each year, but there is no plan to prohibit the use of Oxycontin. An example of the opiate fatalities after legalization is a large drop. So we see just in the first year alone, almost a 20% drop in opiate fatalities in states that have legalized marijuana. And after 5 years of legalization in these states, we're seeing a 33, almost a 34% drop in opiate fatalities, which is phenomenal. Cannabis has many properties and molecules in it. One of these molecules is THC, that everybody already knows about because of its psychoactive ingredients that gets you either high or stoned, as people like to refer to it as. But THC has many other redeeming factors. THC is used for cancer patients in treatment to help establish a appetite again, to help them eat. Without the cancer patient using cannabis, they are unable to eat food, which then makes them sicker, and it reduces recovery times with THC. THC is also great for seizures, and it reduces nausea. Along with the cannabinoid THC, there are 33 other cannabinoids that we know already of. Most of them have not had the proper research done on them, because as a Schedule 1 drug, it is illegal to do research on these drugs or on these molecules. So we don't know the full properties of them yet. But a few that we do know that have benefits are CBDs. A CBD is great for inflammatory, such as issues with a foot and the muscles in there. It can help relieve that issue. It's great for bone growth, and it's great for other issues such as helping with lung toxins. We see CBDs, THCUs, CBNs, and CBGs, which we know very little about right now, but they also show anti-inflammatory properties, and they're great for bone growth. But without proper research, we don't know the full potential of these cannabinoids. We need to legalize marijuana so that we can research these more. Legalization is coming to America right now. The American public, as shown in this Gallup poll behind me, since 1986 have steadily been more supportive of the legalization of marijuana. Since 1986 to just about 2011, support for legalizing marijuana has nearly doubled. And this Gallup poll suggests that by 2018, 70% of the American public is going to be for legalizing marijuana. Legalizing marijuana has already started to take effect across America. Many states have already legalized marijuana, such as Colorado, Washington, and Oregon, with many other states having it on the ballot as we speak. Along with that, 22 different states have a medical marijuana program, and many others have decriminalized marijuana use, such as Grand Rapids, Michigan. Decriminalizing marijuana is a way to make sure that the people don't make it into the court system, but you are still fined for the use. So if you're caught with marijuana, there's maybe a fine of $75 for the use of marijuana. The only problem with this is that if you are caught using marijuana in association with another crime, then you can be prosecuted for marijuana use. The decriminalization is nulled. So an example would be if you run a red light and then you have marijuana on you, you could be potentially charged with marijuana use and running the red light. With legalizing marijuana, we're finally establishing a regulatory program to make sure that marijuana is not abused. The regulatory program is very similar to that we already use with alcohol. So this would be that a commission or a board is put into place to license and regulate the establishments that are able to sell marijuana. This board would set limitations to where marijuana could be sold, such as it must be 1,000 feet away from a school, a park, or other places that children congregate. It will be used to limit the age of the purchase of marijuana. It can be used to limit availability, and it will also curb demand. One way to curb demand of marijuana would be to set a high sales tax. An example would be Colorado, where a 16% sales tax is placed on marijuana. This is great because that sales tax, the money earned from that, can be placed into dire need areas. So schooling, roads, or it could also be used to help with counseling programs and to limit minor use of the product. An example would be investing in education and prevention. Marijuana also, with the regulatory board, would be limited to the amount of the active ingredient per product. So this is great too because the people need to know exactly how much active ingredient is in a certain amount of the product to properly dose themselves without overdoing it. One of the fears of legalizing marijuana is the cannabis impaired driving. People are afraid that with legalization, people are going to start using marijuana and driving more, causing more fatalities. Well, people are already using marijuana. That's not changing. We're just making it legal. As you can see, though, from the fatal traffic accidents under this Gallup poll, the source Columbia University, only 1.83% of traffic fatalities are associated to marijuana. Well, on the other side of the scale, we can see that 13.64% of traffic fatalities are associated with alcohol. Alcohol is much worse for us, and it causes many more traffic fatalities than marijuana. To wrap up, I would like to share this quote from Victor Sims. Victor Sims is a world-renowned social worker and therapist. His quote is, "When growing marijuana has a longer sentence than raping someone, we are facing a national crisis." I think this wraps up what the social problem really is. An example is, you can, in certain states, be sentenced to 99 years for having 3 marijuana joints on you. Well, we have cases in the national media where people are raping other people and only getting 3 months probation. That is a national social problem. Thank you.